Hello, for those of you that don't know, my name is Prince. I am a freelance writer, journalist, and soon to be traditionally published author. My debut memoir is coming out with Tin House next fall in 2022. If you want to check out more about that, go to my link in the description. I wanted to give you this video because through the process of selling this current book deal to Tin House, I have gone through a lot. I got an agent. That agent took a hiatus. I rejected my first book offer. I started querying other agents. I got approached by an editor when I was unagented. And that was also while I was querying to find a new agent. And all of this is to say that at some point in signing this book deal that I currently have, I had a week where I talked to about 5 different agents. And so for those of you that don't know, when you are seeking to be traditionally published, you typically write whatever project you're working on, and then you write a query letter, which is a 3-paragraph or so page pitch to literary agents to represent you in the process of getting your book sold. And literary agents typically get a commission of whatever they help you sell. So that is typically how it works. But the situation that I was in is that I had been previously unagented. I knew the editor that reached out to me personally. That editor was comfortable with me proceeding with the deal unagented, but I was also hoping to use the deal with this press. Tin House is a very well-known press. I was hoping to use the deal to get a new agent. So I typed up, reached out to all the agents that I was really interested in, even some of the ones that had already rejected my query letter, because by the time I had the book offer, I'd probably queried close to 40 agents, and I'd gotten, I believe it was about 15 or 16 rejections. And so for a whole week, I basically spent like each day talking to different literary agents. And when I tell you this process was stressful and it taught me a lot, and I really wanted to make this video. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you probably my best tip in terms of everything that I learned. The questions that I would recommend that you ask a literary agent during the call. One question that's really important to ask is, how long have you been in the industry? Sometimes you have an agent who has been a writer in the past and they pivot to agenting, which can be its own benefit as well. Sometimes it's someone that has more of an editorial background because they've maybe worked at a publishing house or worked as an editor somewhere else, and so they might have more of an editorial lens. And sometimes you have a newer agent who is really hungry for new clients, wants to represent more marginalized people from marginalized backgrounds. The last agent that I had was a newer agent, shared identities with me. And so through the process of editing my memoir, we vibed really well. And I feel like that was a really good agent to help me with the subject matter of my book. Another good question to have is, how many clients do you have? This is kind of similar to the how long have you been in the industry, but it's a good question to ask because you get an idea of if they have a larger roster. This might be an agent that is really good at multitasking, really good at hustling, really good at getting good deals for their clients, potentially, but it also might mean they have less time to communicate with you as much, less time to maybe do the kind of author coaching or writer coaching that some agents do, and their communication style might vary. But if it is a agent that has maybe works at a smaller agency, or they have fewer clients, then that might mean that they have more time for you. And so if you're a newer author, that might be good as well because they help you navigate these processes in a way that I think is more communicable, and knowing the size of their client list will definitely give you some clues about how they communicate. And then on the topic of communication, just asking an agent straight up, how do you typically communicate with your clients? Some agents like doing phone calls. Some agents like to FaceTime. Some agents like to text. Some prefer email. The first almost agent that I had in 2017 spoke to on the phone once. And then from there, we emailed. The second agent that I had, we FaceTimed a lot. And that was mainly because that agent had a really strong editorial focus. So on every Sunday last year for like 6 months, we would get on FaceTime and read through each chapter of my memoir and edit it. And that was amazing in terms of like having a really intense kind of first agenting experience where I was like, wow, this person is really invested in my work. So understanding how they communicate can also be important when you get into the actual business side. How often will they update you when you're on submissions? Will they give you the rejections or will they not? Do they like to talk to you about these different parts of the process? All of that is really important to know because it helps you figure out like what kind of vibe you're going to have with the person. Another good question is, what have you sold recently? This is something that you can also find out on Publishing Marketplace. Publishing Marketplace does cost money. I believe it's about $25 a month. I'm only signed up for a month right now because I'm basically trying to see what my book news is when it does come out. But there you can find a lot of agents, especially in the US. They list their deals that they've had with what houses. It has all kinds of information. Ask them what kind of deals they've sold recently because it helps you understand, like, can they sell things in the genre that you currently write in? Do they have the potential to sell things in other genres that you're interested in? And so having an idea helps you figure out how much of your career, depending on what you write, this agent can represent. And so that's also another really good question to ask during the call. And another question is, how would you sell my book? How would you market it? How do you see it being out in the world? I think newer agents can be really good at having the enthusiasm for your project. But I will say, when I had my week of talking to all these different agents, I'm the kind of writer where I'm at a point in my career where I've had so many, like, I won't say false starts, but I had an agent, that agent left, I had another agent, that agent went on hiatus. And I'm also a marginalized person in a predominantly white industry. So talking to a literary agent about how they would pitch your product, where they imagine it being in the world, what kind of editors they could see it with, it really gives you an idea of their scope of understanding of the industry, what their network is, and also if they really understand your book on a marketing and thematic level so they can push it out in the right way into the writing world. Because some agents might like your book because they think it'll sell really well, and some agents might like your book because they like that your main character has a disability and is neurodivergent, etc., etc. So my final tip in this video, let me know if you want another video like this with even more questions to ask during the call, but my final and most important tip, the thing that I learned when I had this week where I was talking to all these literary agents and I was like, okay, well, this person rejected my work, but they said they cried when they read my query letter, and this person is Black, and I think I'd vibe with them really well, but this person, like, has sold a lot of books and has, like, a really lucrative career. The one thing that I will tell you is that no matter where you are in your career, be honest and direct. So if you're entering the call with certain professional insecurities or certain red flags that you've experienced in the past, be honest about that. And I have two agents because when I was navigating this offer and I was talking to all these new agents, I was really confused about the fact that typically you query someone and agent usually represents you because they believe in your writing ability or because they know they can sell your stuff. I was in a situation where I'm a Black gay author. I was trying to sell a memoir. It's really hard to face rejection when you're in an industry that says #own voices and Black Lives Matter. And so I was just really direct with one of my current agents about the fact that I want to have an agent that is invested in my career in the long term. I want someone that understands the scope of work that I want to do, that I want to write in different genres, across genres. And I want someone that can kind of hold things down in a way that really will defend me. And so my current agent, Samantha, gave me a lot of advice for free about this book deal and just basically said, I'm here to help authors, I'm here to help writers, and I want to help you and I want to represent you moving forward with your future projects. And so being honest, I think it is kind of a game because if you're in a situation where you're on a call with an agent and they're already interested in representing you and you know that, sometimes being a bit too forthcoming allows them to kind of speak directly to your needs in a way that might not be, I'll just be frank, is honest. But if you are honest about the things that you need from an agent and the ways that the industry has failed you, you can either figure out if this agent has like some idea of like the structural disadvantages that are up against you, or just like the personal things in your life that make writing or having a writing career hard. And if they can kind of meet you halfway and really just like put you at ease and also teach you something during the call, like that to me, like when I did my call and I ended it and I was thinking, wow, that agent really said some stuff that I have never even known or considered about the writing world. That to me is my biggest tip. By being honest and direct, you can really find someone who can speak to your needs and can put you at ease. And as a writer trying to be traditionally published, you're going to have a lot of anxiety and stress throughout these processes. So finding someone who can kind of like reel you in and be like, this is what's going on and this is how we're going to deal with it, it is so good. But comment down below with any other questions that you would ask during the call or have asked during calls with literary agents. And let me know if you want to see another video like this. And till next time.